Okay, children, today we are doing this topic here, variation of molar conductance with dilution. In the previous class, we had defined molar conductance. Molar conductance is basically the conductance of 1 mole of dissolved electrolyte. So suppose this is our conductivity cell and we have here 1 mole of dissolved electrolyte, and we will be able to measure, that we have discussed the other day. We can measure the conductance of the solution, we can measure the conductivity of the solution, that we had discussed. Now one relation for molar conductance, it was 1000 into conductivity by C. 1000 into conductivity by C. So like here, variation of molar conductance with dilution. What happens on dilution, that we are going to study here. Dilution means, suppose we have here a certain solution. Suppose we have here 1 mole of dissolved electrolyte and we are gradually adding water here. If we gradually add water here, then it's going to be it's getting diluted. On adding water here, dilution is increasing, and if on adding here dilution increases, but at the same time concentration decreases. So here basically what we are going to do, we will gradually add water here and we will measure the conductance of the solution, or will measure the conductivity of the solution. And suppose we will make a table, we will suppose for a certain concentration we will also find the value of root C, because actually here we will be plotting molar conductance versus root C. That's why we need the value of root C also, and molar conductance value we will get at this concentration. Then again we will add some water, then concentration will change, this will change, this one also will change, and because of change in concentration, the molar conductance value also will change. So every time what we do is we will keep on adding water gradually, and at every cases we will try to get the molar conductance value. Now there are also instrument apparatus where we can directly get, there are instrument by which we can directly get the value of molar conductance. So now after getting the value of concentration or square root of concentration and molar conductance, these values we are going to plot. So we are plotting molar conductance in y-axis, square root of concentration in the x-axis. Okay, now it is seen that behavior is different in case of strong electrolyte and weak electrolyte. This is the graph obtained in case of strong electrolyte. Strong electrolyte, for example HCl. HCl is an example of strong electrolyte, and this graph that we get, it is for weak electrolyte. An example of weak electrolyte is acetic acid. So here we have 1 mole of dissolved electrolyte. We are gradually adding water. On gradually adding water, concentration will decrease. Root C also will decrease on adding water, and the molar conductance value we will get, and that we are sorting. So we are going this side. We are actually going from this side because this is decrease in concentration, or this is also increase in dilution. So I can write here this, in this side there is decrease in concentration this side, and this side also it is increase in dilution. So looking into the graph, we see that behavior of strong electrolyte and weak electrolyte is very different. So how does molar conductance vary with square root of concentration? In case of strong electrolyte, it gradually increases. It gradually increases with decrease in concentration, or it gradually increases with increase in dilution. But in case of weak electrolyte, what we see is, there is a sharp increase in the molar conductance value with increase in dilution or with decrease in concentration. Now, why it is happening like this? Why the graph in case of strong electrolyte is like this, and in case of weak electrolyte is like this? This is what we need to explain. First, let us take up the case of weak electrolyte. So here we have weak electrolyte. Now weak electrolyte remains partially ionized. This acetic acid will remain as CH3CO minus aqueous plus H plus aqueous. So acetic acid here remains partially ionized, and now what happens if we add water into it? Okay, more acetic acid molecule will ionize. If we add even more water here, then again some more acetic acid molecule will ionize. In this way, here every time we add water, in case of acetic acid, more and more molecules of acetic acid ionize. This is a characteristic of weak electrolyte. So we can say that on adding water gradually, on decreasing the concentration gradually, on increasing the dilution gradually, okay, number of ions which is responsible for conduction will increase. Number of ions will increase, and that is the reason why the molar conductance value sharply increases. Its increase is such that it keeps on increasing. But this never touches the y-axis. It gets closer and closer to the y-axis, okay, but it never touches the y-axis. That is seen in case of weak electrolyte. So we are able to explain why the graph for weak electrolyte is like this. It is because, as we have explained here, as we add water, as we decrease the concentration, as we increase the dilution, more and more acetic acid molecule ionizes. and number of ions will increase gradually and not gradually, in fact number of ions increases sharply, and that's why molar conductance value also increases sharply. Now what about weak electrolyte? Sorry, weak electrolyte we have discussed. What about strong electrolyte? Now suppose we have here HCl. HCl is example of strong electrolyte. Other example of strong electrolyte is say NaCl, say sulfuric acid. All these are example of strong electrolyte. Now strong electrolyte, is at a certain concentration or at any concentration, strong electrolyte is always completely dissociated or ionized. Strong electrolyte is completely dissociated or ionized. And on further adding water, what will happen is there won't be increase in the number of ions in case of strong electrolyte, because it's already completely ionized. Strong electrolyte is already completely ionized, so on further adding water, there does not occur increase in the number of ions. Number of ions, before adding water and after adding water will be same. But here, in this case, number of ions keeps on increasing every time we add water. Now, why is then, if number of ions remain the same in case of strong electrolyte, and why there is some marginal increase? Some increase is there. So how do we explain this small increase? This can be explained in this way. Is that, suppose we have here H plus ion and suppose Cl minus ion. Now when we keep on adding water in order to do dilution, what will happen is volume of the solution naturally will increase. Volume of the solution will increase, and due to the increase in volume, this distance between the ions, this distance between the opposite ions will keep on increasing. And if the distance between opposite ions increases, then what will happen is these ions can move more easily. These ions will be free to move better, and as a result of that, there is increase in the molar conductance value. So the reason for increase in molar conductance value in case of strong electrolyte, it is because of increase in the distance between the opposite charged ions, and due to that the ions can move better. So this is the graph that has been explained. Okay, now one question must be arising in your mind. Why not molar conductance versus just C, concentration? Why square root of concentration? Why square root of concentration? Now there is a relation, there is a relation which has been derived by many scientists working together. That relation I am writing. It is molar conductance is equal to molar conductance naught minus A root over C. This is a relation, this relation is applicable for strong electrolyte. This is not applicable for weak electrolyte. So for strong electrolyte, there is a relation, molar conductance at a certain concentration. Now what is this molar conductance? Naught means molar conductance at infinite dilution. Okay, this stands for molar conductance at infinite dilution. Infinite dilution means suppose we have added here lot of water. Okay, on adding water, we have added excess of water. So when we have added excess of water, then dilution is very much. When that dilution is very much, and that we say as what? Infinite dilution. Okay. And as we are adding water, dilution increases, concentration decreases, and infinite dilution, actually means when concentration becomes, when concentration tends to zero, that is infinite dilution. So infinite, dilution means when concentration tends to zero. When the value of concentration tends to zero, that is called infinite dilution. So that is this value. So suppose you see for strong electrolyte, how can we get this value? To get this value for strong electrolyte, we just extend this curve. We extend this curve, and you see this intercept. This intercept will be the value of molar conductance at infinite dilution. Why like this? Because you see this equation for strong electrolyte, it is of the form of Y is equal to C plus mx. This is of the form of Y equal to C plus mx, where x is root C, where x is matching with root C, and you see intercept is molar conductance at infinite dilution. So that's why this intercept will be the value of molar conductance at infinite dilution. And at the same time, you are able to get the reason now why we are plotting here root C, because we want to get straight line for strong electrolyte. We want to get straight line. Here you see the variable x is root C. Here x is matching with root C. That's why we are plotting what? Root C, so that we can get a straight line. You see, we are getting a straight line. Now, why we are not getting a straight line in case of weak electrolyte? Because this relation is not applicable, as already I said. This is not applicable for weak electrolyte. It is only applicable for strong electrolyte. And what is A here? A is a constant. It depends on so many factors. So, suppose if you are asked, how will you determine molar conductance at infinite dilution for strong electrolyte? So answer will be, we just extend this line, we just extrapolate this line, the line will meet the y-axis, the intercept value will be the value for molar conductance at infinite dilution. So variation of molar conductance with dilution has been explained. Okay, and we also have come across this term, molar conductance at infinite dilution. Molar conductance at infinite dilution is also known as limiting molar conductivity. Is also known as limiting molar conductivity or limiting molar conductance. So you can see from this graph that in case of strong electrolyte, we are not able to get limiting molar conductance. We are not able to get limiting molar conductivity for weak electrolyte, because you see the curve for weak electrolyte is going like this. Okay, it is going up and up, but it is never going to touch the y-axis. In our next video, I will be telling you a method by which limiting molar conductance of weak electrolyte can be determined. Okay, now after molar conductance, now next thing, if this is 1, then second thing we should discuss here is conductivity. Conductivity kappa. How does conductivity will vary with dilution or with concentration? Okay, first, since you already know conductivity is was defined as conductance of a unit volume of the solution, as conductance of unit volume of the solution. Now you see, as we keep on adding water, okay, as we keep on adding water, the volume of the solution will always increase, and number of ions per unit volume, you can easily make it out, will decrease. So number of ions per unit volume will decrease, and that's why conductivity will also decrease with increase in dilution. This is for weak electrolyte also, for strong electrolyte also. So we can say a variation of conductivity with increase in dilution is that it decreases. Why it decreases? Because number of ions per unit volume decreases with increasing dilution. So you see, we have come to the end of this topic. Hope you have understood it. So thank you for watching. Bye bye and have a good day.